Hello, galactic travelers, cosmic crew, what's happening? It is the 26th of December, 2018, day after Mary Christ Consciousness Day. And I've been looking ahead at some astrology and looking ahead at January and some transits that are coming, and then how that's linked to the transits that we've just had with the 11-11-11 and all the 1-1-1, 1-1-5 and 1-1-1-5-1-1. I mean, all these codes and those imprints are significant because now we're moving into the 1-2. And so, especially in December, when we had the 1-2-2-2 day, right? Because it was the second day of the 12th month in the 2018 year. And then we had 12-12, and then we had 12-20, and then we had 12-21-2, and then we had 12-22-2. And then as we go into the new year, then we're going to have new sets. And so the dates, and this got my attention because everything's coming so fast, and all the transits and everything that's happening all at once. And so January 2nd came to me through synchronicities in the car. I was boxed in at a stoplight around 3 cars with 44 in the license plate. And I saw the first one, and then I saw the second one, and then I saw the third one, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I looked in front of all those cars, and there was a paper license plate that I'd never seen one like it before. And the license plate was 1-1-1-1, 5 ones, and then an F, and then a 1. And it was dated January 2nd, 2019. It had JAN 2. It was really bizarro. Well, the F got my attention, and all the ones, of course. So that's 5 ones in a F, and F is 6. So 6 and 5 is 11. So the 1 was on the other side of the F. So that's really 1-1-1. So January 2nd, we have the sun at 11 degrees of Capricorn, and it's conjunct Saturn at 11 degrees of Capricorn. So we have the sun on top of Saturn, and Saturn is, the program. Saturn's the 3D matrix. And it's all at 11 degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn is, because Saturn is also our iOS system, our physical energy iOS system as a collective. And Capricorn is Earth, and it's physical. Okay, so we have the sun conjunct, and that's also conjunct Lyra. Lyra has a degree at 10 degrees. Which is linked back to the original monad, and that monad Lumerian 12 DNA template, that's all linked back to Lyra. Then we have the moon at 25 degrees of Scorpio, conjunct Venus at 24 degrees of Scorpio. So we have the moon, our emotions, the reflector, right? Because the moon really is the reflector, is on Venus at 24, 25 degrees of Scorpio. And this is what's interesting, because 26 degrees of Scorpio is this, wow, did y'all hear that? There's all kinds of crazy things going on in the sky today. 26 degrees of Scorpio is where the divine feminine, that's where our Mercury gets stuck for like 5 years at the end of the precessional equinox cycle, which is going to be around 2032 or so. And that 26 degree Scorpio has just been in the transits. It's like we're building it of some sort. So it's interesting that it's right there before we get to that 26th degree, that we're processing all that Venetian energy through the emotion, through the moon. We're reflecting it out. At this time, we're building for a new moon that will happen 4 days later. All the while, the sun is on top of Saturn, and it's programming Saturn, right? So all that energy is going there. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Mercury is also, so we've got Moon is 25 degrees. Venus at this point, when I pulled it up, is 24 degrees. And Mercury is 25 degrees. So that's 3 planets around that 25 degree marker. And then the true node is at 26 degrees of Cancer. So, I mean, that's close to 100%. We've got Mars at that point at 0 degrees of Aries. So this is anchoring in that fire and anchoring in all of this stuff again into Aries, into this dimension. And Jupiter. So not only do we have the sun at 11 degrees of Capricorn and Saturn at 11 degrees of Capricorn, we have Jupiter at 11 degrees in its final minute of its 11th degree of Sagittarius. So crazy, crazy, crazy numerology going on. Officially, Jupiter's moving out of that Antares orb. It's still there. It's still affecting, but 2 degrees is whenever you're, conjunct. So that's lifting. It's like we've got that rewrite there. Is we've got this 0 point energy. And Neptune is at 14 degrees in 6 minutes, which is, the first degree out of that 13 degree cycle. We're 13 is pivotal up to this point. So you see, it's like we've got 11, 11, 11, 25, 25, 24, 26. And Chiron is at 28. Pluto is 20 degrees and 38 minutes. So now that's on the 2nd. And then 4 days later, on January 6th, is when we have this new moon of Capricorn. And I have to do a double take. And at this point, whenever I'm taping this, I just got drawn back to my manifestation journal, looking at what I had manifested for this cycle. And there was a new moon of Capricorn last year. And when they run in cycles, it's like another one got thrown in or something, right? I'm not sure how that happened. But there was a new, it was this year, 2018. So we had a new moon. Normally it flip-flops, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But the new moon of Capricorn in 2018 was January 17th. of 2018, we had a new moon of Capricorn at 26 degrees of Capricorn. Well, January 6th, 2019, 4 days after the transit we just talked about, so we have the new moon of Capricorn, and this is at 15 degrees of Capricorn is where the moon and the sun are, which means, you know, that they're rewriting the full magnitude alignment. They're right on top of each other. And it's a partial solar eclipse. And 15 degrees Capricorn is Vega. And Vega is, if you will, in linear time, if you're thinking it from a time perspective instead of a seed perspective, Vega is the ancient Lyrans. And comes from, which in Lyrans was the first root race of this Milky Way, the beings here, okay? So that links back, you know, wow, and that's 15 degrees in Capricorn, which is dead center in the middle of Lyra, which is the monad template again that we speak about. It's even the more ancient template, and it's at 15 degrees. Now, remember, our new moons and are at 15 degrees, and our full moons are going to be at 0 degrees for a minute. So this one's at 15 degrees of Capricorn, which is on Vega. And it's a partial solar eclipse. So we have that new moon magnitude. So when we go look, oh gosh, I'm in the wrong year. 2019. January 6th, the new moon chart. Sun and the moon at 15 degrees, 25 minutes. 25 is 7, so that's 15, 7, 7. 1 and 5 is 6. It's 7, that's 13. Hoot, hoot. Mercury's at 1 degrees and 21 minutes of Capricorn. And 1 degree of Capricorn is Polis. Polis is, if you will, like the first civilization in this dimension. So another reset point, right? And it's also opposite the poles. And Polaris, it's opposite Polis is. And that is where Mercury is. Venus is at 28 degrees and 33 minutes of Scorpio. Mars is at 3 degrees and 20 minutes of Aries, working its way up to the Zeta Reticuli point there. Jupiter is at 12 degrees, 49 minutes. There's that 13 again. We have a 313 there. Sagittarius, that's Jupiter. Saturn, 11 minutes and 58 minutes. 1113 again. Capricorn, Saturn and Capricorn. Uranus and Aries, 28 degrees, 36 minutes. That's a 10-9. Uranus is retrograde. And then Neptune at 14 degrees and 11 minutes of Pisces. And that's significant because Neptune just moved out of the 13. And Neptune, remember, is the oversoul of Venus and the collective consciousness. So we're seeing Neptune move forward as everything else is moving forward to 15 and bringing out of this 13 that we're just moving out of. Pluto, 20 degrees and 45 minutes, Capricorn, and that 20 degree, that's significant. 22 degrees is where we have the 20. In 2020, we're going to have the Pluto-Saturn conjunction. The North Node will be at 27 degrees and 17 minutes of Cancer. Chiron, 28 degrees and 14 minutes of Pisces. still in Pisces, so it's like it's getting a refuel. We'll have 12 elements of earth on this new moon, 6 of water, 9 of fire, 0 air. And the ASC or MC is 22 degrees and 22 minutes of Virgo. And the sun and moon at 15 degrees and 24. So 22, 22. Freaking crazy, trippy, cool. So that is the, just looking forward, what's all locking in. It's like that monad reality, is now, our templates are locking in, and it's in Capricorn. So this is how we're going to start seeing these things manifesting more in the physical. And this eclipse is just huge, right? These eclipse seasons, because it's super power. So it's like we're coming up, the phoenix that rises with this ultimate energy. So, that's the 6th. So then 6 days after that is the 13th. I mean, I was guided to look up the 13th. So I go to January 13th. And seven days after the 6th, leading up to that 8 completion day, and plus with the 13s. So I was guided to look up the January 13th. And lo and behold, hoot hoot, January 13th, the sun is at 22 degrees Capricorn, 29 minutes, 22:11. 22 degrees Capricorn, again, that's Pluto-Saturn conjunction, 22 degrees Capricorn in 2020. Okay, so that's January of next year. So, of course, this is what's imprinting, right? So this is January 13th. We also have the moon, and the moon is at 7 degrees Aries, and Mars is at 8 degrees Aries. So we've got moon and Mars conjunct. We just had Venus and the moon conjunct over in Scorpio. Now we've got those guys conjunct, Mars and moon, and they're conjunct in Aries on a Zeta Reticuli point, which means that that's also going to be an activation for, if you will, the positive bloodline on the planet, because that's where that's linked to as well. Unlocking that DNA, when we're talking about the waves of consciousness. And that's also at 6-7 degrees, okay? We've got Venus, Mercury is at 11 degrees and 59 minutes of Capricorn, which is still conjunct Lyra and still conjunct Saturn. So Mercury is still conjunct Saturn by the 13th. Saturn's at 12 degrees and 47 minutes, so that's 12:11. Mercury's moving into that 12th degree. So we've got 2 12s right there. Venus is at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. Jupiter is at 14 degrees and 14 minutes of Sagittarius, which is where we just recently had some activity. Woo! Yeah, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and then Pluto is at 21 degrees, moves to 21 degrees, so it's moving out of 20 degrees into 21 degrees exactly on this day, on the 13th, and the sun's at 22. So we're going to have Sun and Pluto conjunct, Saturn and Mercury conjunct, all going on in Capricorn, on Lyra degrees, with the moon and Mars conjunct in Aries, in its home sign of Aries, of fire, of, wow, Neptune is at 14 degrees and 22 minutes You can't make this up. Hoot, hoot. And Chiron is at 28 degrees and 27 minutes. So that's a 9 factor too. And don't even get me started how this lines up perfectly with the Divine Feminine Progress chart, because that's where I'm getting these numbers right now. And in my Progress chart, my Sun is at 1 degrees of Sagittarius, 1 degrees and 4 minutes. My Neptune is 4 degrees and 50 minutes. So those are both conjunct Ophiuchus. My Mercury is at 7 degrees and 52 minutes, which is a 7-7, which is conjunct Antares, and that's where Venus and Jupiter are all conjunct that energy in my progressed field. And then on that quincunxes to the Moon, which is in Cancer, which is at 3 degrees and 35 minutes. And then I've got a quincunx on the other side. My progressed Saturn's at 18 degrees and 22 minutes, which is conjunct Bellatrix, which is where my natal Saturn is at 20 degrees, which is quincunxing the true node at 17 degrees and 40 minutes of Capricorn, which is conjunct Vega and Lyra, which is where the Sun is conjunct Pluto and Saturn is conjunct Mercury. And then my progressed Jupiter is at 9 degrees of Capricorn. So it's magnifying all of that right now. And then the Moon and Mars is conjunct my Chiron and 13 degrees, which is basically the nodus 1-1, and that Chiron reset at 13 degrees. You know, we had these 13 degree activations. Now we're doing 15 degree activations. These are basically how they're key sets that we're coming out of. And this last Saturn transit in my chart, which this is the Divine Feminine chart, and you see we're just blasting that energy down to Beltegee's Gemini. That's just the 13th. Okay. So then 7 days later is January. Well, 7 days later. It's actually 6 days later, because that's the 6th. No, that was the 13th, and then the 21st. How many days is that? 8 days, right? Yes. 8 days later is the total lunar eclipse, 0 degree Leo full moon at 0 degrees and 49 minutes. There's that 13. That's on Monday, January 21st. We have the Sun at 0 degrees and 51 minutes of Aquarius. The Moon at 0 degrees and 49 minutes of Leo. There's that 13. Let me see what I got going on here. The Moon the Moon's going to be conjunct the North Node, because the North Node for the collective is 26 degrees and 29 minutes, so that's 8-11 in numerology, and the Moon is going to be at 0 degrees, so it's not perfect, but there is a conjunction there with the Moon and the collective North Node, which then opposes all of this energy in Capricorn we got going on, with some pings back and forth to Sagittarius, Aries, and a little bit of water. So Mercury, just looking at numerology real quick, we've got Mars at 13 degrees and 35 minutes of Aries, which is conjunct my natal AC and Chiron. And that's the original seed in this dimension, you know, and for the human, we came in at, you know, closer to the middle decan of Aries. And then that's when there's this big 13-degree shift. Saturn's at 13 degrees and 44 minutes. Oh my Lord. Of Capricorn. So Saturn's 1344 squaring Mars at 1335 of Aries. Jupiter's at 1549 of Sagittarius. 1549. There's another 13. And then Venus is at 14 degrees and 37 minutes of Sagittarius. So Jupiter and Venus are conjunct. Holy mac. So we've got Sun at 0 degrees, Aquarius. Moon at 0 degrees, Leo. Venus and Jupiter conjunct, 14, 15 degrees of Sagittarius. Oh, wow. Uranus is at 28 degrees and 41 minutes. Neptune is at 14 degrees and 35 minutes. Pluto is at 21 degrees and 16 minutes. Chiron is at 28 degrees and 43 minutes. This will have 12 elements of fire, 11 elements of earth, 1 element of water, and 3 elements of air. The ASC and the MC are at 3 degrees and 35 minutes, which again is 11. The new moon was 11 too. And then the sun and the moon midpoints are at 0 degrees and 50 minutes of Taurus, which makes sense, right? Because we're grounding it into Earth, Taurus, right? Through Capricorn. This is how we're going to start seeing so many changes happening in 2019, because either you're still clearing and you're moving up in your journey, or we're all still clearing and moving up. We're never going to stop. But these two codes are really anchoring that into Capricorn, and it's really anchoring into our timelines. And so this is going to be a lot of the adjustments and timeline adjustments that we've been building up to we're really going to start seeing them in January and February in the 1-2 months, because just like we had 11, 11, 11, now we're going to have all these 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, you see? And then in 2020, we're going to have all these 13, 13, 13, and, you know, so it's building, building, building. I just wanted to capture this. Not sure when I'm going to get all of this put together to get out to you guys, but definitely by January 2nd. Love you guys so much, and ooh, it's getting exciting. Hoot, hoot. Talk to you soon. If y'all want a StarSeedology reading and look where you're going to be in all of this, email me at coco@cosmicchristy.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.